Hello friends, this video on electric charges and fields part 31 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Please make sure that you have watched all the videos till part 30 before going ahead with part 31. So the first application which we will look at is the field due to infinite long straight uniformly charged wire. If you remember, we have already talked about the electric field because of a uniformly charged conductor, right? So here we will try to calculate the electric field with the help of Gauss law. Now before applying Gauss law, how do we apply Gauss law? We choose a surface. We have to choose a closed surface in such a way that the closed surface encloses this uniformly charged wire to some extent. Now with that we will apply Gauss law. So in this case, let us suppose I choose the Gaussian surface as a cylinder which is enclosing the long straight uniformly charged wire. Let us suppose this is my cylinder which encloses the charged wire. Now let us calculate the electric flux through this surface, because electric flux has to be through some surface, right? So let us calculate the electric flux through this surface. So now the total electric flux will be equal to the sum of the electric flux through the three surfaces. Here you have three surfaces. This circular surface is surface 1. This is surface 2, that is the body of the cylinder, and again this lower circular surface is the surface 3. So the total flux through this cylinder will be equal to phi1, that is flux through this surface, plus flux through this surface, plus flux through this surface, right? So we will calculate each of them one by one. Now what about the electric field? What is the direction of electric field? See, this is the positive charge, right? So the electric field is in this direction. Because the electric field will originate from the positive charge. So this is the direction of the electric field. And what is the direction of the normal vector or the area vector? Area vector is always perpendicular to the area. So when I consider surface 1, the area vector is along this direction. When I consider surface 3, the area vector is outward normal, that is this. When I consider surface 2, the area vector is along this direction here and again this direction here. Right? So if we look at it for surface 1, that is for phi 1, the area vector E is perpendicular to n cap. Right? And I told you before that if electric field is normal to the area vector, then the flux is equal to 0. So here, since E is perpendicular to area vector, therefore flux is equal to 0. Similarly for surface 3 also, the electric field vector is normal to the area vector. Therefore phi 3 is also equal to 0. Therefore the total electric flux through this surface is equal to the electric flux through the curved surface of the cylinder. So let us calculate the electric field through the curved surface. So this will be equal to integration of E dot ds. So this will be equal to E dot n cap ds. So this will be equal to integration of E dot n cap over closed surface into ds. Now the angle in this case, that is theta, is equal to 0 because n cap and E are in the same direction. Therefore we can write it as E integration of ds. So this ds on integrating becomes the total surface of the cylinder. What is the curved surface of the cylinder? Curved surface of cylinder is given by 2 pi rl, where r is this radius, this distance is r, and L is the length of the cylinder. So the length of the cylinder is L. Therefore, phi is equal to E into 2 pi RL. Now, according to Gauss law states that phi should be equal to the total charge enclosed, that is Q divided by epsilon naught. So using this, we can say E into 2 pi RL is equal to Q by epsilon naught, right? So we can say electric field E is equal to Q divided by 2 pi epsilon naught R into L. Now since just now we have told that this wire is uniformly charged wire, that is, let us suppose that the linear charge density is lambda. So this lambda will be equal to Q divided by L, that is charge per unit length. Therefore using this we can write E is equal to lambda divided by 2 pi epsilon naught R. So this is the expression for electric field at any point for an infinitely long uniformly charged wire. So what do we see? We see that electric field is inversely proportional to R, that is, it is inversely proportional to the distance. So as the distance of the point increases, the electric field at that point decreases. Right. So here you saw that there was no need to do lot of calculations. We just chose a suitable Gaussian surface, and with the help of Gauss law, we were very easily able to calculate the electric field. Thank you. Please visit examfear.com to watch free educational videos, try free online tests, get the best quality study materials, study from the best tutors and mentors, and much more. Thank you once again.